So let's continue with idioms. The first one is to pour oil on troubled water. This is the first, that is to pour oil on troubled water. It means to pacify the matter. For example, the two friends engaged hot words, but the intervention of the teacher poured oil onto troubled water. That is to pacify the matter. Next is to clip one's wing. To clip one wing means to weaken the power. For an example, my elder sister is very ambitious, but my mother will surely clip her wing. That means to weaken the power of her. To come home to, it means to understand. For an example, Seema wanted to be a teacher in the college, but soon it came home to her that she was not fit for the job as she was only a graduate. To come to a standstill. Standstill, here it means to come to a sudden stop. For an example for this, when we were going to Missouri yesterday, our car came to a standstill right in the middle of the journey. So here it means to a sudden stop. Next is to come off with flying colors. To come out with flying colors means to come out successfully. For an example, the final football match was very crucial, but finally we won and came out with flying colors. To cross one's mind. To cross one's mind means to occur to oneself. For an example, in the examination hall, it crossed my mind. So here it crossed my mind means to occur to myself, my oneself means. In the examination hall, it crossed my mind, but I had left my pen outside on the table. Then, to cry for the moon. To cry for the moon means to wish for something which is impossible. For example, the hope of winning the lottery amounting of a lakh of a rupee is simply crying for the moon. Next is to curry favor with. To curry favor with means to win favor of somebody. For example, Nina gave a lot of costly present to her science teacher to curry favor with him. That means to be in favor of somebody. To dig the grave. To dig the grave means to tarnish, to destroy. By taking a side of the culprit, he dug the grave of his reputation. That means he destroyed his reputation. Then next is offhand. Offhand means without preparation or delay. I am very poor in English grammar and can't answer all of the questions offhand. Offhand means without any preparation. Next is to draw the long bow. To draw the long bow means to exaggerate. In calling him the best politician of the world, his followers drag the long bow. That means they exaggerated the thing. Next is to end in smoke. To end in smoke, or if I say to end in fiasco, it means the same, and the meaning is come to nothing, concluded to nothing. For an example, he spoke a lot about the new film, but in all ended in smoke and it flopped on box office. To add fuel to the flame or fire, that means to make the matter worse. So the opposite of it, we have done it today only, that is to pour oil on a troubled water, that means to pacify the matter. And if you add a fuel to the flame or a fire, that makes things more worse. For example, the attempt to suppress the agitation of the strike only added a fuel to the flame. Next is to pay off old scores. To pay off old scores means to take revenge. For an example, the way he is treating his younger brother makes it quite obvious that he's paying off all the scores. That means he's taking a revenge. Next is to sit on a fence, and next is mind one fences. To sit on a fence means not to commit oneself, and may mend one fences. That means to mend one fences means to make peace. Now, coming to the idiom to sit on the fence. To sit on the fence means not to commit oneself. For example, when the party split into two, Ramesh was accused of sitting on the fence. That means he was accused not to commit to himself. Next is mend one's fence. That means to make peace. For example, it is high time for the two brothers to bury the hatchet and mend their fences. Mend their fences here means to make peace among themselves.